In the heart of the Jordan Rift Valley, a land of shifting deserts, dead seas, and ancient scars, lies a place spoken of only in whispers. A ruin of melted stone, a field of green-black glass shards scattered like the remains of a shattered mirror. Walls fused as if by heat beyond anything nature can produce. Local Bedouins call it Adma, the city the sky destroyed. For centuries, explorers dismissed these stories as folklore, remnants of biblical legends about cities consumed by divine wrath. But in 2018, archaeologists uncovered evidence so shocking it forced the scientific world to re-examine everything they thought they knew. Because the city of Adma was not destroyed by time. It was erased, in a single moment, by fire hotter than any volcanic eruption, and by a flash that turned desert sand into glass. Tonight, we uncover the truth behind the empire erased by fire and glass, and the people who vanished with it. In 2018, a research team led by geologist Dr. Elias Khoury began mapping unusual mineral deposits near Tal el-Hammam. What they found shocked them. A layer of trinitite-like desert glass stretching nearly 3 kilometers, the same type of glass created during nuclear detonations. Natural lightning cannot create it. Volcanoes cannot produce the required heat. Meteor impacts create craters, but no crater existed at the site. Embedded in the glass were pottery melted into smooth blue beads, bones fused into crystalline shapes, and droplets of vaporized iron scattered like metallic rain. This was not erosion. This was not time. This was a thermal event, sudden, violent, and hotter than 2,000 degrees Celsius. Something wiped Adma off the earth in an instant. Beneath the glass field lie the ruins of buildings, but unlike any ruins ever recorded. Stone walls fused into each other, flowing like wax. Clay bricks bubbled and exploded outward. Doorways collapsed inward as if crushed by pressure. But the most disturbing feature was this. Some stones showed directional melting, heat applied from a single angle, as if an invisible blast wave scorched one side while leaving the opposite side untouched. Dr. Khoury concluded this was not a fire. This was a flash powerful enough to liquefy stone, and yet localized enough to spare objects only meters away. A weapon, a cosmic event, or something still unknown to science. Whatever it was, it destroyed Adma so completely that its people left no trace but shadows burned into walls. When archaeologists searched for human remains, they encountered a chilling pattern. Most skeletons were gone, not buried, not decomposed, gone. In their place were thin, powder-like residues, calcium vapor deposits, the result of exposure to extreme heat so sudden and intense that organic matter vaporized. Yet in several rooms, archaeologists found silhouettes burned into stone walls, human-shaped negative shadows identical to those seen in Hiroshima. One figure appeared to be sitting, another standing, another shielding a child, frozen in the moment of annihilation. The people of Adma died instantly, without a chance to flee. In 2020, a set of fragmented clay tablets was discovered on the northern edge of the site. Though damaged by heat, several lines remained legible. They mention a city called Adma, ruled by a dynasty known as the Sons of the Dawn, famed for their metalwork, irrigation systems, and astronomical knowledge. One line stands out: "And the sky roared like the breath of 1,000 furnaces, and fire rained upon the plain, and the ground became glass beneath our feet." These tablets predate the oldest versions of Genesis by centuries. Some scholars believe they describe the same destruction associated with the cities of the plain in the Bible: Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, and Zeboim. But this tablet is different. This one is eyewitness testimony. When word of Admah's destruction spread, many proposed a meteor impact, but that theory collapsed instantly. No crater, no pressure cone, no shocked quartz beyond the immediate area, and most damning of all, only the city was destroyed. The surrounding landscape remained intact. Meteor impacts do not choose targets. Whatever struck Admah was precise, directional, and confined. It did not arrive from the sky like a falling rock. It arrived like a beam. A blast focused on a specific location with surgical accuracy. Some researchers now compare the event to Tunguska, but even Tunguska didn't produce trinitite. Admah did. Something far more unusual happened here. Excavations revealed that Admah was not a village, it was an empire. Massive irrigation channels extended for kilometers. Storage halls held grain reserves large enough to feed 20,000 people. Bronze foundries indicated advanced metallurgy. Astronomical markers aligned perfectly with equinoxes. Admah was wealthy, organized, technologically sophisticated. Its fall was not due to collapse or invasion. It was erased while thriving. Something or someone destroyed a flourishing empire with heat strong enough to vaporize humans, but precise enough to spare nearby farms. Was it a natural anomaly, a cosmic event, or a weapon used by a rival kingdom, or something darker, something from myth? In 2021, ground-penetrating radar and thermal surveys uncovered the final piece of the puzzle. The glass field is not random. It spreads outward in a perfect teardrop shape, the unmistakable footprint of a high-energy, directional blast. The deepest glass is concentrated at the epicenter, a plaza lined with scorched pillars. From there, the glass thins symmetrically, as if shaped by a force moving horizontally across the ground. Not falling, not rising, traveling. This pattern matches only one known phenomenon: a sweeping shockwave created by an airburst, an explosion high above the city. But the temperatures required to melt stone and human bone exceed those of any known airburst event. Something more than impact energy occurred here. Something intelligent, or at least controlled. The blast was designed, and Admah was its target. In late 2021, archaeologists uncovered a sealed chamber beneath nearly 2 meters of fused sand glass. The chamber, untouched by the blast, was preserved through pure chance, shielded by layers of collapsed stone. Inside were intact pottery, an astronomical tablet, fragments of a mural depicting a radiant object in the sky, and the remains of 3 individuals, unburned and perfectly preserved. These 3 people appeared to have been sheltered underground at the exact moment the city was obliterated. The mural shows citizens looking upward, shielding themselves while a sphere of white light descends. A scene not of mythology, but memory.
The tablet inside the chamber was unlike typical star charts. It recorded a single day, one extraordinary event. Symbols indicated a sudden flash, a roaring shock wave, a distortion in the sky's upper dome, and a falling star that split the air. But the most astonishing mark is a spiral symbol surrounded by jagged rays, a sign found in ancient cultures around the world, from North America to the Indus Valley. Researchers call it the sky spiral phenomenon. Some believe it represents superbolides, others claim plasma vortices, yet others suggest something far stranger, an atmospheric discharge triggered by an unknown energy source. The people of Adma witnessed something catastrophic, and they recorded it with scientific precision. Resting beside the three survivors lay an object that baffled scientists. A polished obsidian talisman carved with microscopic precision. Under magnification, its surface revealed perfectly straight channels, thinner than a human hair, a spiral groove with nanoscopic accuracy, and a central cavity resonating at a specific frequency when exposed to ultrasound. This was not a ritual item. It was a device that seemed designed to receive or amplify something unknown to us. Even stranger, the talisman contained a thin layer of metallic residue found nowhere else in the region. The material matched laboratory signatures of meteorite iridium alloys, but refined far purer than nature can produce. Whatever this artifact was, it suggests Adma possessed knowledge beyond their era, or that something outside their civilization gifted it to them. At the center of Adma is a plaza so intensely scorched that the limestone beneath turned black and brittle like burnt wood. This was ground zero. Thermal scans revealed melted stone fragments embedded in the ground, a radial pattern of tiny impact pits, and microsphere rules of vaporized silica. The blast cone reconstructed by researchers indicates an explosion 30 to 50 meters above the city, not on the ground. A high-altitude detonation, the kind created by advanced weapons, cosmic bursts, or atmospheric phenomena unknown to modern science. The plaza's surface was melted and then instantly cooled, suggesting a flash lasting less than a second. No natural event behaves this way. The destruction of Adma was instantaneous and controlled. Adma's population was at least 20,000, yet fewer than 25 remains have been found, and most were vaporized. So where did the others go? Evidence points to a sudden exodus, pottery left half-filled, tools dropped mid-use, irrigation gates left open, cooking fires abandoned. It appears the citizens fled the city moments before the blast, as if warned. Footprints leading northward, preserved in rapidly hardened mud, suggest thousands escaped. But they were never found in any neighboring settlement. No mass graves, no refugee camps, no integration into nearby cultures. It is as if the people vanished into the desert and left no trace. Some researchers propose they were caught in the blast wave beyond the city boundaries. Others believe they succumbed to aftershocks or famine. But there's a darker theory, one suggesting the people fled toward whatever caused the sky to burn. In early 2022, researchers made a discovery that changed everything. 40 kilometers north of Adma lies a second scorched zone, smaller, weaker, but clearly related. There they found fused sand, melted flint blades, and circular scorch marks around a limestone ridge. This second zone suggests that whatever destroyed Adma fired twice, once at the forgotten city, once along the path the survivors took, as if the force, whether cosmic, technological, or something else, was hunting them. The second blast was less powerful, implying diminishing energy or intentional restraint. This is the moment where scientific explanations begin to break down, because nothing in nature tracks fleeing crowds. Nothing in geology targets life. Whatever struck Adma acted with decision. Near the second blast zone, excavators found clay tablets baked into ceramic by extreme heat. On them, the final message of the fleeing survivors. A hurried cuneiform inscription reads, "The fire followed us, the light returned. The air trembled like water. We saw the sky open." Another line, "The sons of the dawn said the star was calling. We went toward it." This is the last known message from the people of Adma. Were they running from the sky or to something descending from it? We do not know, but their final words imply intelligence, something signaling, calling, or guiding, something the rulers of Adma recognized. Today, Adma remains one of the greatest archaeological mysteries in human history. An empire erased in a single instant. Stone melted, people vaporized, sand turned to glass. Directional blasts, airburst destruction, artifacts that should not exist, symbols shared across continents, and survivors who vanished, not swallowed by the desert, but perhaps by something far stranger. The truth of Adma challenges the borders between history and legend, between natural catastrophe and intelligence, between what we know and what we fear to imagine. Maybe the people of Adma were not destroyed. Maybe they were taken. Or maybe, as their final words suggest, they walked willingly toward the star that called them. An empire erased by fire and glass, but a story carved into stone, waiting for us to remember.